San Antonio, and welcome to this edition of Cover to Cover, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Caitlin Cowart with the San Antonio Public Library. The library makes rich cultural and intellectual resources available to all. As a welcoming community gathering place, the library plays an important role in the cultural education of the community. Central Library is the home to an important cultural resource, the Latino Collection. A primarily print collection, the Latino Collection chronicles and celebrates the literature, heritage, and contemporary life of Latinos in the United States. Here to tell us more about the collection and plans for its future is San Antonio Public Library Director Ramiro Salazar. Ramiro, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about a very important project for the San Antonio Public Library, indeed for the entire San Antonio community, and that's the Latino Collection and Resource Center.
Yes, and so tell me a little bit about the collection, what it is now, and what some of the visions for the future are.
Well, the collection was created approximately 20 years ago. There's a group of folks that had petitioned and advocated to the library board for a collection that represented the community of San Antonio. You know, with over 60% of the community being Hispanic, there was a need for a collection that spoke to that community. So a collection was created that's, as you indicated, primarily print, approximately 10,000 items. And the collection represents the Latino community, speaks about the Latino community, and many books are written by Latinos.
Yes.
And so this collection currently is on the 6th floor of the Central Library. And what we would like to do is to relocate the collection and house it in a larger space. And part of that effort to create additional space for programming, for a gallery, for a writer's workshop, for example. We also are envisioning rooms for scholar in residence for folks that may be working on a book or poetry, that they can reserve that space. They can be inspired by the Latino collection that we have, and again, advance the literary efforts of Latinos.
Yes, and I think it's really interesting that you bring up that the Latino Collection started in the first place with support from the community. That's really important, you know, with what we do in the library. We're very community responsive, and we work with different groups. And there's a group behind this, part of our library foundation.
That's true. And the group you're referring to is the Latino Leadership for the Library Committee, which is part of the San Antonio Public Library Foundation. We often refer to this committee as the L3 committee. And this committee has taken a leadership role in advocating for doing more for the Latino collection. And so we are actually working with this group, the L3 committee, as well as the San Antonio Public Library Foundation, to raise funds to actually create this special space for the Latino collection. Keep in mind that right now the collection is housed in space that is less than 2,000 square feet. And what actually struck me as or raised the awareness of needing a space, a larger space for the Latino collection, was we hosted 2 events, one with Sandra Cisneros, and it was standing room only. There was not enough room to house all the individuals that were participating in a presentation as well as an author reading. And also when we accepted the collection from Dr. Tomás Ibarra y Frausto, a very special collection that is now part of the Latino collection, we also didn't have enough space for that event. And so I started thinking about how can we find additional space. Fortunately, the teen library, which used to be housed on the 1st floor, and when we opened a new teen library on the 3rd floor, we had the space available. It's on the 1st floor. We think it's more readily accessible to folks that visit the Central Library. We have plans to make it more visible, not only more accessible, but more visible. So that's the space that we have targeted, but we are in the process of raising funds. So the target for the San Antonio Public Library Foundation is $300,000. They have raised approximately $70,000. And so folks that are interested in supporting the Latino Collection and Resource Center, we welcome their support. For $1,000, they get to have their name on a wall of donors, which will stay there forever. And I think that's part of the legacy that we need to work on for the Latino community, and especially those individuals, those Latinos that are greatly involved in the literary community and that are leaders in those efforts, such as Carmen Tafoya, John Philip Santos, Dr. Tomás Ibarra y Frausto, Laurie and Guerrero, to name a few. And all of them have lent their support for this project. They're excited about it, but we need to raise the additional funds to create that space that I mentioned.
Yeah. Well, and it's great that we have them as champions. They're all such very talented writers, so important, you know, to the cultural vibe of San Antonio. And I think, you know, the community is going to be really excited. This space is going to be well used. I think everyone has this vision that it's going to be, you know, a bustling center of activity for all, really. And also, tell me a little bit about some of the books. I mean, they're not available for checkout. They're reference materials.
This collection, when it was created to be a non-circulating collection. In other words, many of the items are no longer in print, and therefore become more valuable. So we cannot afford to lose those items. So the collection's available to be used in-house, to be used on-site in the library. So that's what it is right now. And again, I'd like to state that it's primarily a print collection. We may expand to non-print items as we continue to work and develop the Latino Collection. But that is what the collection is. Again, the space will create opportunities for author readings, for programming, and we envision to have at least one program a month to invite authors from throughout Texas and throughout the country to come in and do author readings, to sponsor poetry slams, for example. So we're very excited because it will provide, once this center is completed, it will provide significant and important amenities that are important to for programming, Latino literary programming.
Okay, great. And if anyone out there wants to make a donation, they could visit the foundation's website at www.saplf.org. And is there anything else that you want to share about the Latino Collection, or anything really about the library? You are a library director and you oversee this entire grand system that we have.
Well, I'm very proud of the work of the library team. We have a team that's very devoted to the community, very passionate about the service that we provide. The San Antonio Public Library makes a difference in many aspects of the community, advancing early literacy, supporting education, celebrating literacy and promoting reading. As you know, we partner with the mayor to sponsor the Mayor's Book Club. Both there's a fall edition and a spring edition. During the summer, we have the Mayor's Summer Reading Club, which is very important. We want students to read during the summer so they do not fall behind. So I'm very proud of the work of the San Antonio Public Library, and it's a privilege for me to be the head of such a talented and such a passionate team that are doing such good work throughout the community. We have a large footprint in the community with 27 branch libraries, 2 more that will come online this year, which we will have 29 community branch libraries throughout the city, and then the Central Library, which is an iconic building in downtown, and which we also have significant art as part of the experience of the library. So I'm very proud of the San Antonio Public Library, and what I want to do is invite the community to come and take advantage of the resources that the library has to offer to you for free.
Yeah, absolutely. And things are really thriving right now. We have, you know, our numbers are going up as far as usage and digital usage, and we're getting some national recognition. The Connect Ed Challenge is one thing that we're really excited about that's going to be coming up that we're working on this year.
That's correct. We're partnering with the San Antonio Independent School District to advance the Connect Ed initiative, which is a national and presidential initiative to encourage public libraries to work closely with schools, public schools, to connect students to the resources of the libraries. Because we know that libraries can provide tools that are needed for students to compete in school and to do better and to perform better.
Yes. All right. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. And I can say that I love working at the library. It's a wonderful place to work and to give back to the community. And thank you for all that you do for the library system in the city of San Antonio. Now it's time for a short break. But when we come back, Lily Gonzalez with the San Antonio Book Festival is here to tell us more about what to expect at this year's event. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Mayor's Book Club. I'm so excited to announce the Spring 2016 book choice, The Book Thief by Marka Zusak. The Book Thief, which inspired the 2013 film, is the story of Liesel Meminger, a 9-year-old German orphan who is sent to live with Hans and Rosa Huberman in the town of Mulching shortly before World War II. The book delves into Liesel's relationships with her adopted parents, the mayor's wife, who invites her to read in her library, a Jewish man named Max, who they hide in their basement, and with the politics of the Nazis during the Holocaust. Among other themes, The Book Thief explores the power of words and propaganda, humanity and dehumanization, abandonment, and survivor's guilt. During the months of March, April, and May, I encourage everyone to read The Book Thief by Marka Zusak and then participate in discussion and events that focus on the themes of the book at their local branch library. Engage with other members of the community and share a love of reading with each other. One of the roles of libraries is to advance reading and support literacy. Libraries are always there to provide a place where students learn, citizens engage, and communities gather. I especially encourage young adults and their parents and families to read this book together. Reading as a community provides opportunities for people of different backgrounds and stages in life to sit down and discuss ideas that are important to all of us. I hope that each of you will check out a copy of the book at your local branch library or digitally at mysapl.org.
Welcome back to Cover, and today we're talking about the library's role in cultural education. The San Antonio Public Library provides opportunities for people to meet, exchange ideas, and participate in the life of their community. Coming up in April is the San Antonio Book Festival, an event that unites readers and writers in a celebration of ideas, books, libraries, and literary culture. Here to tell us more about this year's event is Lily Gonzalez, Communications Director for the San Antonio Book Festival. Hi, Lily. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and speaking of, places for people to meet and exchange ideas, the Book Festival is absolutely the place to be to do that. And we're really excited about the Book Festival coming up this year. What year is this? Is this the third or the fourth year?
This is the fourth annual. It started in 2013, so yes, this is the fourth annual. We're so excited. We just had our author lineup announcement this week, so really we are in full sprint mode, 50 days away today.
Yeah, great. April 2nd.
Yes.
What are the times?
So the book festival actually takes place Saturday, April 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that is the full free open to the public day, but there are events that begin the night prior, Friday, April 1st.
Yeah, and you can find all of that information on the Book Festival's website and also social media. I just started following you all on social media yesterday. So tell me a little bit about the Book Festival. How did this get started and what is it about?
Sure. So the Book Festival is, we really owe it all to our wonderful executive director, Katie Flato. In 2013, because of her relationship with Texas Book Festival, which is our founding partner, they really approached her and said, you know, we'd like to expand our footprint beyond just Austin. So how about doing a Texas Book Festival San Antonio edition? And they really opened up their books to her. So she was able to go up there. She got the help of the San Antonio Public Library Foundation, which is our parent organization, without which we really would not be able to exist. And she went up there and looked at their books, looked at their footprint, was able to see everything that they do. And I mean, truthfully, they'd been doing it for 20 years, and she kind of ambitiously said, we want to do all these things too, our very first year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are the roots of the Book Festival.
Yeah, thank goodness for Katie. I mean, she is wonderful and a fearless leader in making this happen, and she's been very successful and has built a great team of staff and volunteers. And it's been great working with you all as the library system to make it all happen. So tell me, how are the authors chosen? Do you have a theme this year?
We don't really do themes, but our literary director, Clay Smith, who is up in Austin, he was literary director at the Texas Book Festival for a number of years and then became editor-in-chief of Kirkus Reviews. He selects the authors for us, and we do also have a programming committee that is there to offer suggestions and kind of approve moderators, that kind of thing. But people can submit a book. It's anyone can submit a book. We do have some requirements, published in the last 18 months, no self-publications, that kind of thing, but you can submit a book and Clay will consider it, so we encourage authors to do that.
Yeah, I'm really excited too about what he was saying about some of the authors that we're going to see some humorous talks, some humorous books that are involved in some memoirs as well, and I'm really excited about seeing that. What other types of activities other than the authors featured are going to be a part of the festival?
So there are so many activities that happen at the Book Festival on the Saturday itself. Aside from the adult author lineup, we have Geek Town is what we call our teen area, and that really has just an impressive YA lineup, just some rock star authors in that lineup.
Awesome.
Pam Munoz Ryan, who won the Kirkus Prize for Young Readers, and then we have our wonderful children's reading tent, which logistically we've actually moved to the McNutt Garden in the Southwest School of Art. They're another one of our founding partners, and that children's reading tent is just going to be just a vibrant hub. We have magic theater in there. We have some wonderful storytellers that really get those kids kind of excited all day, really. We're keeping that energy up for those kids all day, so they will be tired at the end.
Yes, that's good. Just in time for the babysitter to show up for Parents' Night Out. Okay, great. Yeah, like it is just so impressive to see these lines of tents, all these activities going on, children, so engaged and in what's going on, teens engaged. We are going to have something in the Central Library's new teen library too this year.
Yes, I believe so. We just had a Geek Town meeting this week, and yes, Geek Town is really shaping up just to be a really fun and exciting place for teens to hang out and chill. You know, we're thinking it's going to be like a tailgate kind of environment for them to just spend the day there and have fun and meet authors.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. We actually had an opportunity at the library last week for Job Shadow Day to meet with some teens from Breckenridge High School and just talk about like what they're interested in, what their activities, and it's definitely like compatible with what you all have planned, that what they're interested in.
Yes.
And so I think that's great, really knowing like what the teens want and their feedback, taking their feedback into consideration. Why is a book festival important to a city? Why is it important to the city of San Antonio?
Well, I think, if you just look at the cities that we consider the great cities in America, in this country, they tend to be literary hubs. They tend to be literary destinations as well, where great creativity happens and where creative people want to be. And so in order for San Antonio to consider itself among those cities, it needs to be that as well. And I think that the book festival really contributes to San Antonio being a literary destination. You know, it's getting easier to attract these big headliners. I mean, this year we have Sonia Manzano, who everyone, generations love her as Maria from Sesame Street, but she's more than just Maria. She's also a wonderful author who's written this great memoir on really how she became Maria. It's kind of a little dark because she did suffer abuse in her childhood, but I mean, we wouldn't be able to attract names such as that without being a literary destination.
Yeah, the reputation that you all have built is fantastic, and I had one of the authors, or I overheard him saying that this is the best book festival that he's been to in the country, and he goes to all of them. You know, he had mentioned some of those big cities, New York, Los Angeles, but this one, he was really a big fan.
We get that feedback a lot. It's kind of wonderful. I mean, I think our volunteers, we have 400 volunteers, so really we could not put the festival on without them. But we do a really good job of making the festival special for our authors, not just for the people who attend the festival.
Yeah, wow, 400 volunteers, that's amazing, and a lot to coordinate,
It
but
is
it all
a lot
goes
to
really
coordinate.
smoothly. It's so impressive to see.
Yes.
So tell me some of the sponsors involved this year.
Sure. So we are still accepting sponsorships. So if anybody wants to donate, we do offer special perks. If you do become a sponsor, you get to attend some private events that are closed to the public, such as author breakfasts and author cocktail parties. So that's a great incentive. But we're proud to have as our leading sponsors HEB and the Newman Foundation. So many of our sponsors come back. Last year we had a very specific situation where the festival had just happened, and in order to get our funding from the city, we had to turn around and immediately ask our sponsors to re-up, and they did. It was just wonderful. So we're doing really well with our fundraising.
Yeah. Well, this is a really fantastic thing for the city of San Antonio, for the San Antonio Public Library System. Can you tell our viewers where they can learn more about the book festival?
Sure. You can learn about the book festival at www.saplf.org/festival, and you can also follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Awesome. We have a couple minutes left. I want to hear about the Literary Deathmatch, which is a ticketed event that you can buy tickets on the website. So tell me about this.
Sure. So Literary Deathmatch is kind of our celebratory conclusion to the festival. For those of you who have not heard about Literary Deathmatch, it has a national presence, so you can go to their website and see videos of what happens in other cities. And basically it's 4 authors from the festival lineup. This year we have 4 hilarious authors. 3 of them have done this before, Literary Deathmatch before, so they're familiar with how it works. They know that it's very performative. They know to kind of do antics on the stage. 4 authors, 3 judges that we pick from the local community. So the judges are judging on literary merit, performance, and then a third category that we call intangibles. And it's basically the authors do a reading, and then they narrow it down to 2 authors, and then there's like a final round, and the audience gets to participate a little bit. It's just kind of hilarity, literary hilarity on stage.
Yes, I still have not been to one, and I would love to go this year because I have heard so many people be like, this is the best event I've ever been to. Not just like of this style, but just ever.
Yes. I mean, it's a great event. We'll have to get you a ticket. You need to come.
Yes, absolutely. Well, is there anything else that you want to tell us?
Sure. I can tell you about some new additions that we've added this year to the festival. One is an event for younger people. It's called Lit Happens. It takes place the the day prior to the book festival, so Friday, April 1st, and that will be at Stay Golden Bar, and that's in collaboration with Rivard Report. And it's really just taking literary deathmatch, which is kind of grand and on a stage, and making it a lot more intimate and putting a lot more audience participation in there, and just kind of the same kind of fun but smaller, and with a younger crowd. We really want to attract those millennials and make them lifelong supporters of the book festival.
Yeah.
And we also have a wonderful opportunity for people to sit down to a quick 1-hour lunch with an author and 8 guests. And we're calling those Book It luncheons, and those are ticketed and available for sale on our website.
Well, that is so cool. How exciting. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lily.
Welcome.
I'd like to thank our guests again for being here today. For more information about these and other happenings coming up at the library, head to our website at www.mysapple.org or follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Tune in next month for our next edition of Cover to Cover. See you then.
Welcome to the Mayor's Book Club. I'm so excited to announce the Spring 2016 book choice, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. The Book Thief, which inspired the 2013 film, is the story of Liesel Memminger, a 9-year-old German orphan who is sent to live with Hans and Rosa Huberman in the town of Molching shortly before World War II. The book delves into Liesel's relationships with her adopted parents, the mayor's wife, who invites her to read in her library, a Jewish man named Max, who they hide in their basement, and with the politics of the Nazis during the Holocaust. Among other themes, The Book Thief explores the power of words and propaganda, humanity and dehumanization, abandonment, and survivor's guilt. During the months of March, April, and May, I encourage everyone to read The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak and then participate in discussion and events that focus on the themes of the book at their local branch library. Engage with other members of the community and share a love of reading with each other. One of the roles of libraries is to advance reading and support literacy. Libraries are always there to provide a place where students learn, citizens engage, and communities gather. I especially encourage young adults and their parents and families to read this book together. Reading as a community provides opportunities for people of different backgrounds and stages in life to sit down and discuss ideas that are important to all of us. I hope that each of you will check out a copy of the book at your local branch library or digitally at mysapl.org.
Welcome to this edition of A Minute with Mike, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Councilman Mike Gallagher, representing District 10. Did you know that the City of San Antonio has over 200 parks? With spring break coming up, now is the time to start exploring. Our parks span over 15,000 acres and include 150 miles of walking, hiking, and biking trails. They aren't just green spaces. Some of our parks have historical buildings or other treasures important to our city. District 10's Comanche Lookout Park contains the original lookout tower and offers great city views. Many parks include fitness, art, and music classes. With free workout stations at neighborhood parks, it's easy to stick to your New Year's resolutions or set new fitness goals. So which park will you be visiting this spring? To find a park near you, visit the park's website listed below.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Visit San Antonio and be moved. Deep, deep